This is the story of how I got banned from Ameristar. Now, this story starts March of 2016, rather March 18th. It was Sunday night / Monday morning, 3 a.m. Now, I had an economics class at 9 a.m. Monday morning, and since it was 3 a.m., I was thinking to myself, if I go to sleep now, I may not wake up for my economics class in the morning. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to stay up for the next 6 hours? I could play video games and watch movies, but that would only keep me up till about 7 a.m. I know because I've tried. I could go driving, but that wastes gas, and driving makes me sleepy anyway. Oh, I know. I'll go to Ameristar. Now, I've gone to Ameristar before, and so I know if you go to Ameristar, you have to pull out at least $60 from the ATMs, and I don't really want to gamble a whole lot. I'm just going there to kill time. Also, I believe that if you go to Ameristar, it's a great big old place. You go walking around and stuff, and the exercise keeps you awake. Plus, all the tobacco and nicotine in the air, will kind of boost you up a bit. So, what I decided to do is, I go to Bank of America and pull out $20, because like I said, I don't want to gamble a whole lot. And then I go and I grab a notebook that I can use to kill more time with. So I bring a notebook with me. I'm thinking $20 will only last me about an hour on the slots. So for the remainder of the time, I'll just have a notebook with me. I can do some calculus problems. Things will be great. So I go to Ameristar. I go park my car, get into the building, go to the checkpoint, and the guy asks for my ID, and he says, "Okay, what's your name? What's your eye color? When you were born? Okay, you're good." So I go to the northern end, and I sit down on one of the dollar slots, and I think to myself, well, what can I do for the next 5 hours or so? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I could do some calculus problems, but I don't really know any calculus problems that I want to do. I could do some programming problems, but obviously I just have a notebook with me. Oh, I know. And before I mention this and say what I was planning on doing, I should remind you, it was 4 a.m. I had been up for about 20 hours, and I was not exactly thinking correct. Now, I will also preface this with another thing. In this story, I'll be talking about mechanical slots and electronic slots. Now, by this I mean, for mechanical slots, the slots where something is spinning around inside, and for the electronic slots, it's the slot machine where it's just kind of flat screen like an iPad, and, well, So, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh, I know, I will make a map of where the mechanical slots are relative to the electronic slots, so that next time I go there, because I was planning on going there again some other time, next time I would, know where the slots I like to play on are. So I pull out my notebook, I open it up, and I make my map. Well, Ameristar is a giant place if you've ever been there. So I start walking down the floor, I get the first page done, second page done, third page done, and I'm about halfway down when this lady in a red dress stops me, and she says, "Hi, what are you doing?" And immediately I'm thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't have made that map. So, what I tell her is, well, I'm here basically killing time, and I made this map because because when I came back next time, I wanted to know where the slots I like to play on are. And she said, well, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. Besides, we move the slots around every 30 to 90 days, so even if you came back in the future, the slots you like to play on, they probably would have moved by then. And so I tear out the map and give the pages to her, and she walks away. Now, as an act of goodwill, I go and sit down at one of the slot machines and pump about $7 into it. And then, because I still have $13 left, I go upstairs and I try to find some of my favorite slot machines. So I go upstairs, and then this guy in a black suit stops me this time. And he says, excuse me. And he says, hi, so what were you doing earlier? And so I explained to him, well, I'm here killing time, and I made this map because I only like to play in the mechanical slots. And he says, okay, let me see your ID. Now, I don't carry a wallet like most people do. I carry all my cards in a stack. And when I pull this out of my pocket, he says to me, why are you carrying a stack of IDs? And so I show him, well, this is my driver's license, this is my gym card, credit card, debit card, library card, theater card, school ID. And he says, oh, where do you go to school? I say, Lindenwood. He says, what's your major? I say, computer science. And he says, oh, do you think you could hack into one of the slot machines? And I say to him, probably not. And I explain why. And then he says, okay, well, let me see your ID. So I give him my ID, and he asks me, okay, what's your name? What's your middle name? Spell it. What's your last name? What's your eye color? When were you born? How did you get here? What car did you drive? What model is it? What's your license plate? What's your height? How much do you weigh? Basically everything you can get off my driver's license. And then he continues to question me for another 10 or 15 minutes. And then when he's done, he says to me, okay, well, we're gonna have to ask you to leave tonight. You're welcome to come back in the future, but you'll have to leave tonight. Now, before you go, we'll have to call up somebody to escort you out of the casino. And so he talks into his headset, and he's literally like 3 feet away from me, and I don't hear anything he says. But a couple minutes later, a guy in a tan suit, tan pants, beige hair, comes up the steps, and he says, hi, my name is Friendly, and I don't remember any of their names. My name is Friendly. I am a Missouri State Trooper. And so I have to re-explain why I'm here, why I made the map, and he again questions me on everything on my driver's license. And then he asked me, now why specifically do you like the mechanical slots versus the electronic slots? And I say to him, well, with the mechanical slots, it's like there's something actually spinning around inside, whereas with the electronic slots, it's just kind of a flat screen like an iPad, and you could program it to screw over the gambler. And the Missouri State Trooper, he said to me, there is no difference between the mechanical slots and the electronic slots, except for the fact that the mechanical slots have something spinning around inside, and the electronic slots don't. They are both completely controlled by computer. And when he said this, I was completely dumbfounded. And I think they saw it on my face, that this was a complete revelation to me. That or they thought I was drunk. So he says to me, alright, now, you're welcome to come back in the future, but you'll have to leave tonight. So they escort me down the escalator, and as we're on our way down, he says to me, now, in the future, you may want to avoid making any maps in a casino or a bank or anything, because a casino is basically just a giant bank. And making a map just makes you look suspicious, so you should probably not do that in the future. And I say, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I still had a ticket from one of the slot machines, and he says, well, let's go get your money back from that. So he points me over to a automated teller machine, and I go over there, and I put my ticket in, and it's at this moment that I'm thinking to myself, you know, if this was a mob movie, this would be the moment they would shoot me. But obviously it wasn't. So I got my $3, and they escorted me off the casino floor and let me go, and I drove off. Now, a week and a half later, I was up in my room, and my mom calls down to me, because, well, I'm on spring break, and so I'm at home, and my mom calls up to me, and she says, Eric, there's a couple detectives here, they want to talk to you. And immediately I'm like, what? And she says, there's a couple detectives down here, they want to talk to you. And immediately I'm like, oh. So I go downstairs, and I go and talk to the detectives, and we go sit outside, and I basically tell them the story I told you. Except they don't laugh at any of the humor. Or the humorous parts. Now, they only say two things to me. First, at the beginning, when they say, why do you think we're here? And then I went and explained them the story. And at the very end, they ask me, well, have you gone back since? And I say, no. And so they say to me, well, if you ever go back in the future, we're going to keep our eyes on you. And so, ever since then, I basically took that as, I should probably not go back. And then, a few weeks ago, I talked with one of my friends who actually works at Ameristar, and he said to me that Ameristar has two lists they use. The first list is for people who are banned from, like, the parent company and on down. And that's for, like, if people get drunk or, I don't know, they start yelling or whatever. And then there's a second list that gets distributed to all the casinos. And this is for people who do serious crimes, like robbing a bank, or, I don't know, kill somebody. Anyway, I'm on that list. So, I am banned from all casinos, at least in Missouri. Probably, maybe just St. Louis. But, that's my story. Hope you enjoyed it.